Hello everybody, it's Amber, a Rogue Mama Stitcher. I wanted to do something a little different before the new year. I know I said I probably wasn't going to do a video before the new year, but I don't know, just kind of after Christmas doldrums or something, you know, and just there's so many things that I didn't say that I wanted to say. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys the snow behind my house and how it looks behind my house. It's just so beautiful and I love it here. So it reminds me of this book that we've been reading to my youngest son for a while, called Windy Edge Farm. And this one, the one that's set in the winter, I'll have to try to find it. He couldn't find it yesterday, but the one that he's waving at me from the window. But yeah, the one that is set in the winter is called Maggie's Holiday. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's in the UK. Like, the story's about a farm in the UK, and it's just absolutely idyllic, and I love it so much. So that's one selling point of our house, is that you know, that it's had this amazing view of this farm, and we can, not right now, but a lot of times during the winter, we could, you know, we get to watch like horses pulling children on sleighs, and you know, tubes and different things like that, and dogs chasing pigs, and just random stuff, random farm animals. So anyways, that's our beautiful winter wonderland back there. And if I was really hoping to have it actually snowing in the snowstorm to show you guys, because yeah, it's really pretty. I love snow. So my husband doesn't love it as much because he has to work in it often. So anyways, I'll show you a different part, like kind of right outside our neighborhood. So this is still in my neighborhood, but I want to show you this kind of little farm that they have turkeys almost all throughout the year, and goats. And this will just be like a bunch of turkeys that'll be crossing the road and things like that when we pull in, and it's like just so funny and adorable. I love it. Anyways, so something sentimental about it. I don't know what. And then just a little bit up the road. Sorry, it's going to be like shaky as I'm walking. But a little bit up the road is this other farm that they have cattle, just like a couple of them that will, during the summer, we'll just come and, you know, go on our walks and talk to the cows. And they're so cute. And these sheep, they always have tons of sheep. So yeah, there's the sheep, and they have the school bus that the sheep will go under. Okay, so a little closer to them. They're the owners are really friendly. And then across the street, we've got this house, this like red brick house. It's almost exactly like a house that was in my small hometown, about the same population as here when I was younger. And that was like my old boyfriend's house when I was in first grade. almost just like it. It's so weird driving by it and seeing that. It always reminded me of that. So it's like the idyllic red tractor. It's just, I mean, I guess I'm just like a sentimental fool because I love this stuff. It's so beautiful, and my kids love it. So they're taken after me, and my husband loves this stuff too. So anyways, adorable sheep. So hi again. So I was trying to do a little bit of like a vlogger thing earlier. So that was earlier today. Now I'm going to try to do a WIP Parade. I don't know, like, I hope maybe some of you haven't seen this, what I've done already this year, because I mean, I guess maybe like I would think that was boring to see the same stuff, but you know, maybe if you guys haven't seen my earlier videos, it won't be boring to you. I am wearing a Christmas gift from my mom. She got me an enormous red cashmere sweater. So, but I like the color red, and you know, I appreciated her gesture, and she wanted pictures in it, so like put makeup on and did pictures. So well, just I feel weird with makeup on, I guess, like, so I feel the need to explain. Anyway, so so we can do the WIP Parade first, and I'm sitting on a stool right now, taking a page out of Crisscross Stitch's book. So the new one that I've been working on, that I just got stitches in last night, there's like cat hair flying everywhere. I got my little aught light here so that you can try to, or you can maybe see this a little better, but there's a few little stitches in that. That's Cocoa Time. It's my most recent WIP. And oh, I'm so disorganized right now. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. Okay, so there is Ink Circles Cocoa Time. That is my brand newest WIP, and that is a SAL with Ashley, the penguin, the stitching penguin, and oh, my battery's going dead. Okay, so yeah, Ashley, the stitching penguin, and Erin, the stay-at-home stitcher, and Sammie Liz. All of them have Instagram, and all of them have Flosstube. My other, oh, I should print this one out for you guys. It's the Abby Sue Designs. I just completely lost motivation to do anything on this. I had a lot of other things to do, but I loved what I had stitched so far, and then it turns out that I was really looking forward to like Aristocats being on there, and there was only, I think, my husband's texting me. I can see messages on on the camera phone. Just one second. Okay, so I printed out the Cats of Disney, what it's supposed to look like when it's all done. So they have Marie and Thomas O'Malley in there from Aristocats, but I was hoping for, or not Marie. I was hoping for Marie, but also in addition to Duchess, and maybe like at least one of the kittens from Aristocats, like just because I mean it's like the Cats Disney, so I mean it's like the Disney Cats movie rather, like it's just, I don't know. Anyways, I shouldn't go off too much about that. Abby Sue is extremely talented, and I really think she's amazing, and I could not do better than her at all in any way, shape, or form with the designing. So I think she's just trying to provide a variety, just like how she did with Dogs of Disney, and that makes sense. That's fine, you know, but I kind of just lost motivation because of that, because, you know, didn't have as many Aristocats as I was expecting. So my other WIP that I've mentioned a few times already for 2021 is the Arcadian Angel by Marbeck, Rebecca Waldrop, and that will be that just needs back stitching at this point. Everything else has been done, so it's kind of amazing I haven't completed that. But anyways, and so that's, you know, the finished product, what that's supposed to look like. So I'm so sorry, the lighting is really weird today. I'm not used to the nighttime lighting in here for filming, so I apologize if it's weird. to you guys too. So, and then I've got my Mama Witch cross stitch, Dance 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 WIP. I only finished this cute dancing frog this year. And I will keep stitching on him 2022. Or not on him, sorry, on this piece 2022. Oh my gosh, this lighting is annoying. I'm so sorry. Okay, so yeah, so throughout the year I'll do the rest of that. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. Yeah, that's quite the glare. That's annoying. Let's get it out of here. There we go. Oh yeah, so much better. Okay, so yeah, the rest of that will be really fun. I just ran out of time. I had other things I wanted to stitch on before. Like I got really caught up in stitching the Modern Folk Embroidery Spirits of the Dead. That turned out to be super fun, so I could not stop myself. I just had to get it done before Halloween. Okay, and then another WIP that's left over from 2021 was the one I was doing with crafting Yivy, the ice cream truck from the world of cross stitching. And you can tell I have a lot of things. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it's all done. And mine is, I can't tell if this fabric is actually, I don't think it's 28 count. I think it might be the 32 count. Yeah, so it's, the stitching seems small to me compared to a 28 count, but it was labeled that 28 count. So yeah, so I mean it's pretty, you know, it's just a little thick. It's a little thicker than I would have done it. I was doing 3/2, but I just, you know, if it's for 16 count, I like to at least decide before I start that I'm either, if I'm going to do it 3/2 or, you know, 2/2. And I think I would normally do a 2/2. I don't do it very often though. I don't stitch very often on 32 or 16 count. So let's see. I think that was it. So the Disney cats, the well, Cocoa Time, Disney cats, Marbeck, the Arcadian Angel, and Ice Cream Truck. I think that's all I have for that I started in 2021, and then I will be working on in 2022. Did I say, oh, the Dance 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 by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. So yeah, and then I am for the first time doing, sorry, I'm putting my feet on this chair that has the tripod on. I'll try not to rock it too much, but for the first time ever, I'm doing a WIPGO, and I will put the link to, I think it's Jessie Marie Does Things. I think that's the name of her Flosstube, and then she has a Facebook page. So for those of you who don't do WIPGO or don't know about it but would like to try, I can put her links in the description. So that's my WIPGO. So on my WIPGO I will show you what I'm planning to do. I didn't bring over my Disney Kincaid stuff, but that was on my last video, so you can check that out if you want on my last video. And oh, there's a couple things I didn't bring over, but that's okay, right? You'll see if you're watching my Flosstube. So I have to do some sew to stitch next year. Like this one of my resolutions. So so Hansel and Gretel. It's called Cards of Hansel and Gretel, and it is just. I think I showed this, yeah, at almost the beginning of my Flosstube videos. But I absolutely love this, and it is really big. And I'm not supposed to show you the chart, so I won't, but it is, let's see, 230 stitches by 190. I mean, maybe that doesn't sound really big, but for a sew to stitch, it's big. So it's on my WIPGO, and Rabbit's Journey, and there are a couple things, and I have shown this on my Flosstube, but there are a couple things that I have in store. Hold on. Okay. Why do we burp? I don't know. Like, well, on Flosstube, like, maybe we burp a lot more than we realize or something, and then when we do it on Flosstube, we're like, oh, okay, I can't do that in front of people or something. Okay, so, or on public video. But yeah, there are some things that once I'm once I'm done with certain things on the WIPGO, which I'm sure will happen, because some of these things are little, like Cocoa Time. I'm sure I'll be finished with that, you know, in a couple weeks. Because I cheated and put that on number 2 because is it Jessica Marie? Anyways, sorry, I can't remember. I am so ill prepared most of the time. I'm sorry, but she put she called the numbers 2 and 19, and so I just went, I want to work on Cocoa Time first, so I'll just put that in there. I was doing WIPGO and had my husband help me because he has a computer program, Krita, that he likes to draw on. He's a graphic artist, graphic designer. He has a day job, but that is one of his many talents. So I recruit him and ask him to help me for certain things, and he's really sweet about it. And anyway, so yeah, I cheated and put Cocoa Time in the number 2 slot so I could start on it right away. And yeah, so okay, then so yeah, I just will have like already like backup plan, you know, WIPs that I will put in the places of projects on the WIPGO board. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure that that's one thing that I am going to feel so bad if I keep getting this lady's name wrong, but I think it's Jessica Marie. I think that's when Erin, stay-at-home stitcher, told me to go check out her Flosstube, like if I wanted to know how to do the WIPGO. And I'm pretty sure that she had said, you know, that once you finish projects, then you can just replace them with a newer one on the WIPGO board. So anyway, so this is Lunch of Love, and I've shown this before, but this is one I want to actually get started this year, and that is on my WIPGO board. So yeah, I probably put this on Rolanda fabric, of course. Wait, Mary, Daydream Stitcher, she said it's actually, she heard from her friend who also likes Rolanda fabric that her name is pronounced Rolanda. So that is going to be very difficult for me to transition into saying, because I've been saying it Rolanda all this time. Maybe because it sounds, I don't know, more natural or something. Maybe because her fabric is so gorgeous, like I just think of, you know, to say it in sort of like a more flowery way. I have no idea. Anyways, and then this one I don't have on my WIPGO board yet, but I think maybe I will put that on instead of maybe one of the Soda Stitch. This Bella Filipina, I have to do something fancy this year. And then I've shown that fabric that I got from Pole Stitches. I waited like a month or 2 to get that, but yeah, I really want to do this. I just haven't kitted it up. So it's the Bella Filipina Luna Mystica. Oh yeah, gotta get that started. A lot of pink. I think Christmas made me really want to do pink. I missed pink. And then I don't know if I've shown this one, but Trick or Treat by Maria Brovko. She's the Cute Patterns by Maria, and I love all these Halloween pieces, especially the poison apples. Reminds me of Snow White, and I really love, you know, the Snow White story. So yeah, and then I was going to do it on Rolanda fabric, and this is the one that I think I'm going to do it on. Kind of like the fabric. It is a fabric I got about the same time. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Okay, so it's kind of like what I did this year with the Witch in a Cauldron on the Rolanda fabric as well. I think she dyed this probably about the same time because it's a very similar green. The other one just had a lot more like maroon. And this one's just basically like Incredible Hulk green and some white, which I absolutely love. So I'll do, that's on my WIPGO. And then the Kings and Queens by Bothy Threads. That is on my WIPGO too, and because I think about it, like I have to start it at some point. So if you keep thinking about it, you probably should just do it. So yeah. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't want to be, let's see, a downer, but I really, like, for some reason, New Year's is the holiday I don't like. I don't know why. Like, I'm glad people enjoy it. Like, I'm glad people party and all that stuff and, like, bring in the new year. Like, we used to, like, shoot off a shotgun, like, at my parents' house when I was younger and drink cider and set off fireworks and stuff like that. So, I mean, it wasn't like there's any, you know, like, bad memory or anything. But I think it's just because I kind of, like, tend to just do the same thing that I want to do. Like, I don't need to, like, set a New Year's resolution or something. And I think I normally, like, really enjoy the year I had, and I don't know, like, I think a lot of people are really glad to see 2020 behind them, so I get it. That's all good. So anyway, so I'm sorry, just my weirdness. So okay, so I did this. I got this book called Important Stuff. It was like clearance at Walmart, and I ended up taking my 3-ring binder that, I mean, it was like this thick, and I had a lot of old copies from old cross-stitch books, you know, before the internet had a lot of cross-stitch stuff on it. And, you know, I just had a lot of copies in there, and I had a lot of my planned projects and then also a lot of my finished projects in that book. So I have kind of painstakingly been transferring all of my, sorry, someone's like some number is calling, just 1 second. Okay. So I've been transferring all my information from that notebook or that binder into this Important Stuff book. I got inspired by seeing people on Instagram how they were organizing their stuff. So I found out that, and I kind of already knew I was up above a certain number, but I found out that I have done like 223 cross-stitch projects for people, and you know, for my family too. But that is, yeah, and I've done 8 quilts, and 2 of them were pretty simple, like they were just like panels with like a border around them. But several of them, many of them were like patchwork quilts, and 2 of them had cross stitch also in them. And that's pretty much the reason I learned to quilt, was for my cross stitching, to have that as like another way to finish my cross stitches. And I have shown the quilts in previous Flosstube for the strawberry shortcake one, and then the baby strawberry shortcake, and then I also showed the soda stitch quilt that I did for my husband and myself, that's hanging in our room right now. So yeah, that's so 223 projects, and like a lot of them are small, you know, a lot of them were just like ornaments or you know, or pillows, but with like a small cross stitch piece, and some of them are bigger, but most of them are no longer in my possessions. I can't show all of them, and some of them I have shown pictures, but they're on Instagram. So yeah, so I've done 49 soda stitches, 20 strawberry shortcakes, 10 Care Bear pieces, 27 as of this year, 27 Christmas stockings. It was 26 before this year, and then 55 of the Christmas Holly Babe ornaments by Ruth Moorhead, and then 62 random pieces. So you know, the random pieces are, you know, vary in size and all that stuff, and the kind of gift they were, and some of them have been kept, and like, yeah, I should see if I could get my my son to dredge up this pillow that he has that's of like a dragon that's like wrapped around a castle. I think like, I think some of my subscribers would like that, like Joe, Stitchy Cat Lady 26. I think she'd really like that one. I think that's a Stony Creek. I'm pretty sure that's a Stony Creek design. Anyways, so yeah, so that's my book, and so I just kind of went, you know, just that's how I listed my like stocking stocking projects that I finished. And then cross stitches made. Got a few pages of those that I transferred over. It's all handwriting. I mean, I didn't really want to type that up and have it in another binder. I'd rather have it like handwritten by me. So yeah, strawberry shortcake, that, and I just separated them by quite a bit of pages just so that, you know, it would, so I could have more room for more projects in the future. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm so tired or something, like my brain is not working as fast as I think maybe it usually does. Anyway, so there's that for finished projects, and then I'll have my WIPGO, like it's a smaller version of the same WIPGO. I'll put it in this book. This is the Dream Plan Do book, and so I already had future projects in this one. So, you know, and like half of them that I had put in for last year, I put I finished them, so that was good. Okay, so I grabbed this book for you guys because I had shown you the different, my cat's under me. Ooh, yes, hello. Maybe I should show her to you guys. Well, Ammon, my son, showed him to you guys before, so, or showed her. Anyway, so there is a lot more distractions in this house. Okay, yeah, she's rubbing on my foot. Anyways, okay, so okay, meow. Maggie's Holiday by Jill Dow. This is the Windy Edge, part of the Windy Edge Farm series, and this book is just so feel good. I love this book. So, especially, you know, for kids. Like, I mean, I am a child at heart, I think, and I just having kids like kind of gave me this, you know, wonderful excuse to collect dolls and for them and for me, and to you know, watch cartoons with them and things like that. I love the art in this book. Anyway, so yeah, we got the whole series, and there's books about like cats and goats and sheep and let's see, ducks, yeah, chickens, I think, maybe. Anyway, and then so this is like this poor horse's barn gets in a snowstorm, and yeah, she's her owner was gone at the time, and so this neighboring farm had to or just, you know, took her to their farm and took care of her. Yeah, like her owner was visiting his son in Australia. I mean, it was just like, it's the sweetest story. So yeah, anyways, if you guys ever want to get this, if you have young children, I highly recommend it. It is just precious, and the little boy Angus is the sweetest character. Anyway, so okay, so then I've been promising Ilonka, like Stitch-Ilonka, that I was going to kind of like talk to her about, you know, talk in my Flosstube about Germany and things like that. And I kind of just having my son on last time, like he was amazing and wonderful, and I really enjoyed what he did, and he was a great assistant. So I'm so easily distracted, like I didn't really talk about all this stuff, and it would have just been like way too long, you know, with all the things that we did on the last one. So anyway, so yeah, so when I was, let's see, like, so I homeschooled from about the end of first grade to all the way till 8th grade. And then, you know, and I actually, like, through probably my middle school years, I had asked my mom if I could go to public school. I had done, you know, a lot of sports. I'd done like soccer, gymnastics, basketball, tap dance, like I don't know, I'd done all kinds of things, like, and you know, we went to church every Sunday and church activities, and we were in a homeschooling group, you know, with people who were from, you know, like a different church and stuff. And so, you know, we had friends and stuff, and like, but I don't know, I just really wanted to go to school and see new people. Like, I was tired of just being home all the time. And you know, I think you know, especially when I was younger, like really love people. And, and so it was kind of I have a swivel stool that I'm sitting on, so I'm like swiveling more than usual. Apparently I'm antsy also. Um, anyway, so when I grew up, like I would just take any opportunity to, oh, and I was gonna say, like during high school, I did go my first freshman year. This was when my mom was okay to let me go to school, public school. And freshman year, I went full time, and I thought it was like a prison compared to, you know, how much freedom I had in homeschooling, at least. I mean, because I could draw, I could go outside, I could, you know, like just use my imagination, and, you know, I could like sleep in sometimes. Like it just was kind of like there's just a lot more freedom there. And so yeah, so so freshman year I was like, I think during sophomore year I decided like I think I need to go maybe half-time or just part-time, because I did not like staying during lunch for school. Like I just wanted to eat lunch at home and do the rest of my subjects when I was home. So my mom was okay with that. She was cool with that. She found a program where I could do that, because back in the day, like they didn't really have a lot of options for like charter schools and private schools. And I think they did have a private school in our area, Seventh-day Adventists or something, and I'm sure that probably you had to pay for that. So anyways, which is, you know, that's fine. But yeah, so I did like a half-time thing from then on. But anyways, so during the years though where I was homeschooled and, you know, just did like the activities, like extracurricular things, you know, outside of school, like I really wanted a lot of, I mean, I wanted friends. Like I wanted friends that did different things with their lives that I wasn't doing, and people from, you know, different states. Like I wanted to get to know people, and kind of like I was very interested in just different kinds of people, and even if I could have pen pals from other countries. And so I, you know, had these. I don't know if you guys have seen these. I think I have one left, but back in the 90s, maybe late 80s, we had these things called friendship books, and someone would start the friendship book, and that we could all send through the mail, people who like pen pals. And you know, the person who started it, that's who eventually it should end up back with different names and addresses and people, and kind of describing themselves on. So it was like probably a booklet for how, I mean, it's probably about this, maybe about, you know, that big. So yeah, like 3 inches tall and or long and 2 inches wide, something like that. And so you just kind of say on there, you know, basically who you are, what your address is, you know, and what you're looking for, you know, what kind of pen pal you're looking for. And, you know, I would say stuff like, you know, like a Native American, or, you know, just something like that. Like I was really like super into Native American culture and getting to know, you know, people from that walk of life and culture and all that. And so I ended up getting these friendship books back, and pretty often, honestly. Like the ones I started a few, I don't know. And so yeah, I had at some point had like 30 pen pals all over the United States, and a few from outside of the United States, and faithfully wrote to them as long as they'd write to me. And I actually remember like a couple of their names because we wrote so long. There's one girl from New York, Stephanie Schwartz, and then there was another girl, I think she still has this name. Like we've like met each other on MySpace again, like when I was in my 20s. But yeah, she was from Canada, the Native American reservation over there, where people use that for a vacation spot in Oregon. But yeah, her first name was Roberta, I'll just say that. And I love Roberta, she was great. But I had met her when we were on vacation there once, and we swam together and talked and stuff. So anyway, so as a cross-stitcher, that didn't really know a lot of cross-stitchers, as I have explained before, eventually, like when I, became an adult and got married and stuff, and was doing this project for the stockings, that I had started as a teenager, and was getting pretty well in there. I had to open the window. I was so hot in my sweater. But yeah, like I ended up just, to me it was like reaching out into the ether. Like it was so weird to me, like foreign, bizarre, whatever, that there was actually like a cross stitch or cross stitch magazines, things that, I found at like Barnes and Noble. I wasn't even aware that they existed until I started shopping at Barnes and Noble after I was like 20, probably 6 years old. So, so yeah, so I found these cross stitch magazines, like The World of Cross Stitching and Crazy for Cross Stitch and stuff like that. And I, looking through them and seeing all these people from, like, it was mainly the UK, I would say, like mainly stitchers from the UK, showing off their projects and describing who they were, and the fact that actually people cared about other cross stitchers was like amazing to me. Like, just, I don't know, that might sound like really weird, but I mean, when you grow up and no one really gives a crap that you are cross stitching and no one else is cross stitching, I mean, it's kind of like they maybe someone you give it to, it would be like, oh, okay, and then they'd find out, like how much, you could tell them how much time that took if you wanted. But it's just like, so anyway, so it kind of was like an amazing thing to me that there were actually, there's actually this whole probably network of cross stitchers out there. And yeah, so I ended up, writing to or emailing the cross stitcher, okay, the Britain's #1 cross stitcher, and I believe this is the same company, editors and everything, as the World of Cross Stitching, right? UK people, cross stitching people who know these things, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so I ended up writing or emailing to them, and they were about my stocking project, just because I'm like, oh, there's other people out there, as I described, and maybe they'd actually care about this. And so the lady actually, oh my gosh, I'm like kicking this chair so much, I'm sorry. Okay, so the lady like ended up emailing back and saying, oh, we absolutely would be interested to see pictures of them and hear a little bit about your story. And so I ended up getting in there in 2000, I think it was 2006 or something. No, 2008, sorry. So yeah, that's my little section I got in the Over to You, and I got a free alt light from it. And there's my oldest holding up his ornament. He is so precious. He's got a little cleft chin. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, so that's me holding my stuff, my projects that I just had on hand. The Wish It, Dream It, Do It. That one, I have that somewhere in this house. So yeah, so anyways, if you guys would be interested in reading that article, I'm sure I could scan it and put it on Instagram for you if you want. So yeah, that was just cool. I don't know, like maybe people would be interested in checking that out. Yeah, so there was one of my in-laws. We lived like in a remote area in Utah, not where we're living right now, but it was another remote place. And my husband was doing something else, for event centers. And, this relative, this in-law, I asked her to go check out the Barnes and Noble and, to get me a copy of this, because I was super excited that it was being released, and because they were trying to, the cross stitcher magazine people were trying to get it in like more of a Christmas edition. And so, we just couldn't like make it up like a couple hours of a drive to just grab that edition, and I didn't really want to wait to have to order it through mail or something. And so, so this relative went there, and I said, well, what's it look like? Should I get a couple copies for like my family, like, for my mom and stuff? And she's like, oh, it's nothing. It's like not a big deal. And so I was like, oh, okay. Like, so I just asked her to get the copy for me, and that's the copy I have, and I love it. I think it's really cool. So anyway, so that was one of my attempts at trying to have connection with the outside cross stitch world, you know, outside of like Utah or Washington. And anyway, so let's see. Yeah, I was going to show you, sorry, this is totally bouncing around, but I wanted to show you the temperature stitch that I am doing with Erin, stay-at-home stitcher, and Ashley, the stitching penguin. So that, oh, hold on, I gotta put my outline down. I think that was, oh, there we go, okay. So, oh, the color is not turning out right on that. Look, the colors are, oh, that's kind of more like the colors, if you guys can see that. So it's, I think they're 5x5 squares, so like every day is like 5x5, something like that. And I love these colors. And Erin's gonna do different colors. And I actually don't know what colors Ashley's gonna do, but I love how this is a quilt. I think that's really cool that that's a quilt. And I do love patchwork. So Erin found this, and like, I'm all about it. I can't wait. So I think you have to wait though till the year starts to actually start stitching on it. You know, sorry. Yeah, so you can hear the cars in my neighborhood. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I wanted to show you one of my most cherished, I'm sorry, the camera, my most cherished Christmas presents, and I just hope I do not drop it. Okay. So it was my most like special request from my husband that I could get for Christmas. From Poppyroots Cottage. If you guys know who that is on Instagram, Crystal. Oh my gosh, look at him. So his name is Hans. She named him Hans. And she sent this with like this cool like wax sealed, you know, letter and everything, kind of describing him and his background and, you know, that kind of thing. And oh my goodness, I just love it. And he reminds me of one of my boys, or just both my boys, like her description of him saying like, oh, you know, he's goofy and he makes messes and stuff like that. And there's so much more than that, but you know, just the darling things about them. And you know, just they're growing up so fast. So I mean, so this, my husband was like, a needle minder that costs that much money. I was like, he's not a needle minder. But my husband has like probably like PTSD from how much I spent on needle minders in 2021 because I love Agnes, her stuff so much. So anyway, but Hans is more like, he's gonna keep me company, and he already has kept me company while I sew. He's in my craft room and he's on a shelf, and all his details, his cool details, are actually like pretty low how he's, you know, positioned, and so I can't really put him up on a shelf high, and so he just is gonna keep me company kind of low down. But see his little tongue, he's gonna, you know, maybe eat that gingerbread man that he's got trapped. So he's gonna be he's not a needle minder, but he's just keeping me company in my sewing room. So he is so cute. I love him. And it was just, my husband hadn't watched like Die Hard in a really long time, and maybe he'd seen the edited version of Die Hard when he was a child or something on TV, because I kept asking him like, are you gonna watch Die Hard with me? And he's like, oh, like there's not a lot of time when he comes home, so he's kind of like, is that really the Christmas movie I want to watch when I'm home? I think that's probably more what that was, you know, do we have the time? And so like finally we watched it, and it was really good, and both of us love Alan Rickman and, you know, Hans Gruber, and then we had just gotten this for Christmas, and I don't know, he's my little Hans, and he's so cute. I love the name Crystal chose from and everything. So anyway, so my big present this year, and I just cherish him and love him so much. And I love handmade stuff. Like you know, if I'm gonna spend money on things, I would rather it be something that someone, you know, made like specially, like custom. And yeah, anyway, so that was my big news. And then I wanted to give you guys like kind of like some of the stuff I wanted to say on the last one. I wanted to say some of that. One of the things was that like we finally got a new car, like after like basically it'd been like about 16 years since we had a new vehicle, and it's my fault because I hate car payments. And so my husband, you know, he knows how to fix vehicles pretty well. Like he preserved the life of that vehicle quite a bit, and so we finally were able to get that. And my dad also like would fix cars up and stuff all the time, and like barely, I mean, never get a new car, like always just fix it up. He was like totally into hot rods and things like that when I grew up. And so like, I don't know, I just kind of just felt like it was just a waste of money. But finally, you know, we were able to, you know, well, I basically said like, I think this year's the year, like let's do it. And so we could actually take road trips and not have to rent a car and things like that. And so my husband's like, okay, this is the year, let's do it. And like went right over to, you know, he did all the research and then went to the, you know, took me to the dealership and had me test them out and stuff. And I mean, it's like weird to like have a car with like heated seats, you know, like the weirdest thing in the world to me. So, but you know, it's like one of those things where like kind of deciding like that's okay to indulge, or not indulge, but like just splurge on yourself a little bit. And so, you know, I just, knock on wood, like I just like, I want to always like share with people. I always want to like, you know, be kind to people and like, I don't know, like kind of pay it forward kind of stuff. And so yeah, like just getting that was like a huge splurge for us, or for me really. And you know, just putting, you know, giving the green light on that. So pretty weird. And so that was huge news for me. So there's like a lot going on, and that's one reason my last like video took like a week longer to put out. So and so then another, let's see, okay, so Stitch-Ilonka, so Germany. And this goes back to the pen pal thing. So I had, so my grandpa, I just told, I'm probably in the middle somewhere in my, you know, Flosstube chronology. My grandpa, the one I had talked about, the one that had the Spawn of the North, the movie made about him in the book, he actually was from Germany. So I'm a fourth German, and like he passed away before I was born. He was pretty, you know, old for to be my grandpa. So like he came over pre-World War I, like before all that stuff started happening. So he came over to the United States in like, I don't know, 1910 or something, 1913, something like that. So he was here, like, you know, because he was told that he would not make it in the in the German military because he was so disobedient. One of his teachers at school said, you might as well just go to America. Like, you're that kind of person. So not obedient, not go with the flow kind of guy. Anyway, so some of his relatives though came over when I was a child in the 80s, and so I got to meet like one of his cousins' girlfriends or wives, something like that, and her name was Ilsa. And Ilsa fell in love with me. She loved me like I was just a little kid, you know, just a sassy little bratty kid. I mean, that's what I remember being like. And she loved it though. And so she ended up sending us like Christmas gifts when we were little, and she sent me this beautiful doll that would like talk, like one of those one of those kind of dolls that had like curly dark brown hair, a red dress, and I cherished it. I loved it so much, and she, you know, really treated me like I was special. And that didn't really happen with family very often. You know, they were all doing kind of their own thing, like extended family and whatnot. Like they're all having like a lot of kids. So it was like really quite touching to me and pretty amazing that I had this German relative that took the time to really kind of like dote on me for a while, but from a distance, like as a kind of a pen pal. She would write to me for a long time, I think until I was a teenager. probably until maybe she got sick or something. I can't remember. It's been a long time, but anyway, so what else? And then we had a German foreign exchange student. Like 3 of my older siblings were really into German culture, and a couple of them have been to Germany and been to Europe, and gone to where my grandpa's hometown was, where he grew up. And yeah, but anyway, so yeah, 3 of them took German, and German was spoken in my house, but it was just by like students, high school students, German, just practice, like Sprachen die Deutsch, and Scheiße, and I'm sorry if that's vulgar for people, maybe for Ilonka, like I'm sorry if that is, but anyway, so yeah, we had a German foreign exchange student come over, and her name was Sabine. And one of my earlier memories as a child was watching her try to shove, as she was packing to leave, shove ding-dongs, like this big old box of ding-dongs, into her suitcase, and she was going, oh, Scheiße, as she was, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but because I had the older siblings cursing in German around me, I was like, oh, I know what that means, Sabine. And she's like, oh, like shit in America? And I'm like, yeah, like that, just kind of laughing. She and I had a little laugh about that. And I think I was probably, 7 years old, maybe 6. But anyway, so I always remember that. She was really cute. And then, yeah, like just, and one of the things that that lady, Ilsa, had sent when she had sent the doll to me, she sent us all a bunch of, like chocolates from Germany. And some of them had liqueur in them, and everyone was zealous about the package and the candy. And so one of my brothers, the one that I would fight with a lot, he if he's watching this, I'm sorry. Like, I saw him subscribe to my Flosstube, so it was very supportive. Thank you, and hope you aren't offended I'm telling this story. But he bit into one of those liqueur chocolates, and maybe he's 10, something like that, and that liqueur went right down his throat, and we didn't have liqueur, that wasn't a taste any of us were used to, so he was like choking on it and going to the bathroom and screaming, and oh my gosh, like poor him. He's so funny. Like, anyway, so but one of the things that stories that we'd gotten from the German relatives, probably my grandpa also passing this on to his, to my aunts and uncle, and to my mom, but that for a bribe for him and his brother to get along, his mom would give them like a shot of liqueur. So it was like when they were children, so kind of different, how they used to do things. So this is like a super long video now, including my little trek into the snow earlier. So yeah, so there's that, and I think that was probably it. I mean, just, yeah, like, oh, and one of my New Year's resolutions is to watch more of the Flosstubers that have like a longer history of Flosstube than I do. And I've already watched like all of the Stitching Penguin, all of Cross Stitch Penguin, all of Stay at Home Stitcher, and there's some others that I've watched all of theirs, but I have not watched all of Stitch Man Darcy or Chris Cross Stitch or Mary Daydream Stitcher. So, okay, sorry, I had a burp. So my New Year's resolution, at least for Cross Stitch, like for Flosstube, is to watch those people because they have been wonderful and amazing, and the others that I had just mentioned, they have been wonderful and amazing. And I think like in one of Chris Cross Stitch's videos, I had said something like, I'm kind of, and this is true, this is kind of what I'm doing, I think, probably just in my cross stitch world, which is a pretty big part of my world, but adopting all these Flosstubers and even people on Instagram, like, as sort of like my cross stitch family, like my cross stitch siblings or something. And it's like, is that okay? you know, and anyways, and then one of the pretty, like, amazing things was Stitch Man Darcy, like, I showed my advent calendar a couple Flosstubes ago. I think it was Flosstube 9, but that advent calendar that I'd worked on when I was a teenager with, you know, and my mom helping me sew it up and everything as a wall hanging, Stitch Man Darcy had sent me a message and was like, check it out, like, my mom has this on her wall at home, and, you know, I did this with her when I was a teenager, you know, and so it was like, that was like amazing and awesome, and like, so it was like kind of, I don't know, to me, as I've told you guys before, like, having all these pen pals, you know, I never thought to put on one of those friendship books, you know, like looking for cross stitchers or something like that. I think I hadn't started cross stitching at that point when I had done that, but yeah, so getting kind of knowing that around the same time, because you know, I think that book being released around the same time, we're probably kind of doing that at a similar age, and you know, like, that just kind of like solidifies this idea that, you know, all of us have been doing this for a long time, a lot of us probably without really like knowing a lot of people that are in this, you know, into the same craft, that actually means like a lot to probably most of us. So, you know, so just having this like internet connected community is just like something so amazing to me, and I'm like riding that wave right now, just loving it. And that's one reason I wanted to do this video, because like I said, like, I'm not a huge fan of New Year's, but this is like my gratitude kickoff, I guess, for next year in a way, because I'm kind of just loving all of it. Like, I'm really enjoying all of it, and, you know, knock on wood, like, everything will just, you know, like, pleasantly keep going. And I love, you know, the fact that I have like so many new subscribers, and I'm feeling like really self-indulgent right now, like little maybe like, I don't know, I shouldn't feel like, maybe I shouldn't, but what is that called, like no, I'm losing the word, but I don't know, self-aggrandizing or something. I'm not trying to do that though. Like, I love having subscribers. Like, you know, I have like I'm getting closer to 400 subscribers, and I am so grateful for that. And I think, you know, just kind of like reviewing like how much time I've you know, spent doing Flosstube and preparing, or, you know, just kind of thinking about like what I want to say out there to the stitching world. You know, I've kind of thought about, you know, goals, like where am I trying to go with this kind of thing, and really like what I've come down to. I mean, because I've gotten like commissioned to do cross stitch, I've got commissioned to do bed sets, like quilts and things like that, to get paid. You know, I made those masks, and you know, so a lot of people will, once they see like, oh, this is really beautiful, the stuff that you can do, and they'll be like, you know, you could make a lot of money off of this. And for all the time that we spend, I'm not really sure that it's that lucrative. So that's never really been my goal. But so the goal, I think, is always sort of just been like social mobility for me, like connectivity with people, like with cool people, or with people that, you know, like their lives are just sort of like, or their ideas about things, like who they are, just sort of resonate with you, you know, just kind of resonate with me. Like, I just, you know, that's like more what I'm looking for, you know, and I feel like that's basically where it's gone, you know, and I'm just extremely grateful for that, and I appreciate that. And I hope this is making sense, and it does make sense when you guys watch it. And I hope you know that I am grateful for all of you, and that I hope that you all have an amazing 2022. You know, all the positive vibes, all the best wishes in the world for, you know, a happy year, a happy new year. You know, drive safely, please, out there. You know, be, you know, have your designated driver if you're going to go out and, you know, participate in spirits. And I just hope you have an awesome new year. And yeah, and looking forward to you know, doing things with you guys, like participating in sales and, you know, just showing what we're working on, things like that, and trying this new WIPGO thing. So yeah, love you guys, and thank you for everything that you guys have done and all the positive encouragement and support. And I hope you guys enjoy this video, and you know, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and comment below, and maybe help the algorithm, something like that, you know, because yeah, that does help out, I believe, a lot. So I try to comment on every video I watch of a Flosstuber, so it helps their algorithm, because, you know, if I enjoyed, like, I want other people to enjoy too. So spread the love.